Welcome to Best College Online Classes. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about taxonomical categories. This topic already we started in last class. In last class, we discussed about the important categories in the taxonomical hierarchy. We discussed about the kingdom, phylum or division, class, order, and family. Up to that, we discussed. In total, 7 obligatory categories in a taxonomical hierarchy. Already we discussed about 5. Now we are going to discuss the remaining 2 taxonomical categories. So you all know that in a taxonomical hierarchy, which was proposed by Carolus I Linnaeus, there are 7 obligatory categories. You all know that these 7 obligatory categories are always arranged in descending order. So from kingdom to species, kingdom, phylum or division, class, order, family, genus, and species. These are the 7 obligatory categories. Along with these 7 obligatory categories, we may use some intermediate categories also. So that all already we discussed. We discussed kingdom, phylum or division, and class, order, family with their respective examples in last class. In this class, we will discuss the remaining 2 categories in the obligatory categories, that is genus and species. So now we'll start with the genus. Genus. What is a genus? Genus is a taxonomical category which includes a group of closely related species. A group of closely related species will form a genus. Or what is genus? Genus is a taxonomical category which includes a group of closely related species. What is genus? Genus is a taxonomical category which includes a group of closely related species. A group of closely related species. So, a group of closely related species will form a genus. What is the genus? See, in binomial nomenclature method, in a binomial name, there are 2 scientific words for every living organisms which we are using as scientific names. In that, the first name represents generic name or genus name. So this genus include a group of species. Okay. So genus is the taxonomical category which includes a group of closely related species. How to define genus? Genus is the taxon or taxonomical category which includes a group of closely related species. A group of closely related species. For example, we will see 2 genus here in animals. Panthera is a genus. Panthera and Felis are the 2 genus. Panthera and Felis are the examples for genus. So here, examples for genus in animals, I gave you here Panthera and Felis. Panthera and Felis. So the tiger, lion, cheetah, that belongs to genus Panthera. But our domesticated cats belongs to this. Okay. And the leopard cats belongs to this, and the wild cats, there is a forest cats, belongs to Felis. Okay, so here there are 2 genus or 2 genera for cats. The big cats belongs to Panthera, and the small cats belongs to Felis, the genus Felis. So the Panthera and Felis are the 2 genus. Okay, 2 genus. Like that, in the animals, these are the examples. What about in plants? In plants, if you observe, Solanum, Solanum, Datura, Petunia, Nicotiana, So like that, all this genus, all these are the genus. Okay. So Solanum, Datura, Petunia, Nicotiana, these are some genus. These are the genera of plants and these are the genera of animals. I gave you only some examples. 2 genera for animals and 4 genera for plants I gave you here. Is it right? As already we discussed about the family. Family is the group of closely related genus. Family is the group of closely related genus. Now if you observe, Panthera and Felis are 2 closely related genus. These 2 closely related genus will form family Felidae. Already we discussed in last class. So Felidae is a family that is formed by 2 closely related genera that are Panthera and Felis. Panthera and Felis, that you have to remember here, right? Is it clear? And what about Solanum, Datura, Petunia, Nicotiana? So that all are formed that collectively, these 4 genera collectively forms a family that is Convolvulaceae and Convolvulaceae. So here, Convolvulaceae. So here, this along with that one more also there, Vitharia. So these 5 genera, Solanum, Datura, Petunia, Nicotiana and Withania. So these 5 genus collectively form a family, Convolvulaceae. So a group of genus will form a family, as already I mentioned in last class. A group of genus will form a family. These are the examples of the genus. See, if you observe what are the examples for genus, I gave you some examples from plants and some examples for animals. From plants, Solanum, Datura, Petunia, Nicotiana, Withania, all these are the genera. See, genus is singular, genera is plural. Genus is singular, genera is plural. So these 5 genera collectively forms a family, Convolvulaceae. So Convolvulaceae is a family which is nothing but a group of 5 genus: Solanum, Datura, Petunia, Nicotiana, and Withania. What about animals? If you see, all the cats belong to 2 genus, Panthera and Felis. So both Panthera and Felis, which are 2 closely related genus, that will form a family, Felidae. So Felidae is a family which includes 2 closely related species, Panthera and Felis. Panthera and Felis, that we have to remember here. So the 2 genera in the animals I gave you examples for genus or genera, Panthera and Felis. In the plants, the examples for this genera are this. Okay. So genus also completed. Is it clear? So genus is a taxonomical category. It is the second smallest taxonomical category. We can say this as second smallest taxonomical category. And this genus is nothing but a group of closely related species. Genus is a taxonomical category or a taxon which includes a group of closely related species. Examples for this genus, Panthera and Felis are the genera for cats. And these Solanum, Datura, Petunia, Nicotiana, and Withania, these all are examples for plant genera that collectively forms the families. Okay, right. After completion of that, the last but not least, it is the basic unit of classification, that is species. Species is the smallest unit of classification according to hierarchy of classification, according to 7 obligatory categories. Okay, which is the smallest in 7 obligatory categories? That is the species. So species is the basic unit of classification. Basic unit of classification, and it is the smallest unit of classification in 7 obligatory categories, which is the smallest. The smallest one is that is the species. Actually, the word species was given by a scientist, John Ray. The word species was given by John Ray. In his book, Historia Plantarum. What was the book written by John Ray? Historia Plantarum. In his book, Historia Plantarum, John Ray coined the word species. The word species was coined by John Ray. The word species was coined by John Ray. See, what is species? How to define this species? How to define the species? See here, species is a group of organisms which are morphologically similar. Species is a group of organisms which are similar in their morphological characters, and they share a common gene pool, and they are freely interbreed within the group and reproductively isolated from other groups. So what is species? I am giving you a simple definition. Species is a group of closely related organisms, a group of closely related organisms similar in morphological characters, similar in morphological characters, interbreed within the group, interbreed within the group, share a common gene pool, and reproductively isolated from other groups. Reproductively isolated from other groups or from other species. Reproductively isolated from other groups or other species. Reproductively isolated from other groups or other species. I just gave you a simple definition. What is a species? Species is a group of closely related organisms. They are similar in their morphological characters, and they are being interbreed, or they randomly made. Interbreeding means they can reproduce. They can reproduce within their group only, and they are reproductively isolated or separated from other groups. Except in rare conditions, all the species are reproductively isolated from other groups, and they share a common gene pool. A common gene pool. What is the gene pool here? So here, once again, I am repeating the definition for the species. What is species? Species is a group of organisms. Species is a group of organisms that are morphologically similar. Morphology means the external features or external characters. So we can notice similar characters in that, similar characters. For example, if we will see the human Homo sapien. So the Homo sapien, what is the species here? Sapiens. So all the organisms of this species, sapiens, have fundamental similarity in their morphological characters. If you observe the characters of a man, if you compare two persons, almost all external characters are looking like same. Of course, there are some variations, but overall morphology is same. If you will see a group of chimpanzees, all have same or similar characters. If you will see a group of dogs, their morphological characters are same. And always chimpanzees will reproduce within their species only, within the group of chimpanzees only they can reproduce. Always elephants can reproduce within their group, not with any other species. Like that, every species in the nature usually reproduce within their group only. That I gave here as interbreed within the group. What it means? They can always reproduce within their group only. And they are completely separated from other groups in the reproduction. For example, the elephant cannot reproduce with any other group. It cannot able to reproduce with the group of giraffes, and the giraffes cannot able to reproduce the group of camels. Did you get my point? So all the organisms that belongs to a species will always reproduce within the group, and they are completely separated from other groups in reproduction. That is reproductive isolation. So reproductively isolated from other groups that I gave. And one word I mentioned here, that is they share a common gene pool. They share a common gene pool. What is this gene pool? Pool means a huge collection or a huge group. For example, see the total genetic material which is present in haploid sets of chromosomes of a person is known as genome. See here two words you have to know. Genome. Genome. First you have to know genome. What is genome? See in human being how many chromosomes are there? The total number of chromosomes in human being are 23 pairs. 23 pairs. Okay. Means 46 chromosomes. So human is a diploid. Paired chromosomes are there, 23 pairs. Always the chromosomes are in pair. If you observe like this, always the chromosomes are in pair. But in the gametes, there is a spermatozoa in male and ova in female. There is haploid chromosome. Only one chromosome is present. Not 23 pairs. Instead of that, only 23 are there. So 23 pairs is diploid. 23 is haploid. Only 23 means it is N, means haploid. So what is genome? The total number of genes in a haploid set of chromosomes in an organism. The total genetic material present in haploid set of chromosomes. For example, what is the total number of genes present in my 23 chromosomes? That is haploid chromosomes, not 23 pairs. So what is genome? The total amount of genetic material or the total number of genes. For your understanding, I am giving you this word, the total number of genes, but actually it is the total amount of genetic material. The total amount of genetic material present in haploid set of chromosomes in an organism. So for example, my genome means the total number of genes present in haploid set of my chromosomes. Haploid set of my chromosomes is known as genome. For your convenience, for your easy understanding, I will give you the total number of genes which are present in a single organism. The total number of genes which are present in a single organism. The total amount of genetic material present in a single organism in haploid condition, in haploid state. That is genome. One organism is. If the total genomes of all the organisms belongs to that species, all the organisms, the genome of all the organisms which are present in that For example, there is nearly 800 crore population, human population is there. So the genome of all this 800 crore human being is known as gene pool. So gene pool means it is the total of all genomes of organisms belongs to a species. So the total of genomes of all organisms belongs to a species is gene pool. So all human beings share a common gene pool. Genome means a single organism. Gene pool means the amount of genetic material or the genomes of all organisms present in a species. So here in a single organism genome, but all organisms belong to that species is gene pool. So all human beings have a single gene pool, but every individual has its own genome. Okay, but gene pool is only single. So for every species, how many gene pools are there? One gene pool is there. So all the animals present in that particular species share a common gene pool. They share a common gene pool, and even they have a common ancestry. They evolved from a common ancestors. Okay, so their phylogenetic history, we can call that as a evolutionary history, or phylogenetic history is also same. So species is the basic unit of classification, and it is the smallest unit of classification in 7 obligatory categories. And the word species was coined by the scientist John Ray in his book Historia Plantarum. Species is a group of closely related organisms. They are similar in their morphological characters, and they can interbreed within the group, and they share a common gene pool, and they are reproductively isolated from other groups. Usually they never interbreed with other groups, but sometimes the closely related species may interbreed, even that belongs to different species. Sometimes closely related species may interbreed. They can able to reproduce, but they usually produce the sterile offsprings. Sterile offsprings. Okay, so sterile offsprings. Otherwise, that will lead to hybrid vigor in future. Okay, we will discuss that later. Just remember, for example, if you observe the cross between a male donkey and female horse. Donkey belongs to different species. Horse belongs to different species. But if there is a crossing between male donkey and female horse, that will successfully produce a hybrid, a new variety of organism, that is mule. Mule. What is mule? Mule is a hybrid produced by crossing a male donkey with female horse. Male donkey with a female horse. So why I am giving this? Usually species are reproductively isolated from other species. Every species will reproduce within the group only, but some exemptions are there. For example, the male donkey when it cross, or it will be reproduced with female horse, that will successfully produce a new variety of animal which is known as mule, but this mule is completely sterile. It cannot able to produce the offsprings. It is a sterile form. It is a sterile form. Is it clear? So you will learn all this in detail. Male donkey is called a jock, female horse is called a mare. So whenever jock and mare are crossed, that leads to production of mule. So jock into mare, that is a crossing symbol. Whenever there is a crossing between male donkey and female horse, that is jock and mare, that leads to production of mule. So very rarely this type of condition also possible, that you have to know, right? If you will cross opposite, that is a female donkey and male horse. If it is male, then you will get this. If here it will take female donkey, male horse, what you will get? A female donkey and male horse, then you will get hinny. It is also sterile. It is also sterile one. Okay. Is it clear? So species always reproduce within their group only, but sometimes the species can reproduce with the closely related other species also. Closely related other species. The best example for this, that is the cross between donkey and horse. The two are belongs to two different species, but they can reproduce and produce sterile offsprings. Sterile offsprings. But if donkey and donkey will be crossed, horse and horse will be crossed, what will happen? They will produce fertile offsprings. They will produce fertile offsprings. So species usually reproduce within the group only, and they are reproductively isolated from other groups. If they will reproduce with other groups, that leads to production of sterile offsprings, right? So that is the species. You have to know species is a basic unit of classification. Actually, it is a genetic unit, because all the organisms belongs to species share a common gene pool, and it is a evolutionary unit. All they originated or all they evolved from a common ancestry. Their ancestors are same. So evolutionary unit. And it is also considered as a ecological unit, because the organisms belongs to a species will always adapt it for same type of ecological, that means habitats. So for example, human being is a terrestrial organism. So human can live only on the land. All the animals of this species will live in same type of ecological regions, ecological conditions. For example, we'll see in the case of fishes, there are different species are there. All that will live only in the water aquatic systems. So that also you have to notice here. So the organisms belongs to same species will always live in same type of habitats, same type of ecological region. So that all you have to remember about the species. Now, what are the examples of this species? For example, already I mentioned a group of species will form genus. A group of species will form genus. Now we will see in the Solanum. Here Solanum I gave. In that genus, what are the species that we will discuss now? Examples for species. What are the examples for this species? See, Solanum tuberosum. Solanum tuberosum. Potato. The scientific name of potato is Solanum tuberosum. That is, tuberosum is a species. And Solanum melangina. Solanum melangina. Melangina is a different species. Solanum tuberosum, Solanum melangina. The two we have to remember here. Along with that, there is Solanum nigrum, black nightshade. Solanum nigrum. It is black nightshade, common name. Black nightshade. And here it is potato. It is brinjal. Okay. If you observe here, tuberosum is one species, melangina is one species, nigrum is another species. So here there are three different species collectively form a genus, that is Solanum. So in the genus Solanum, there are three species I gave you here. What are the three species here? Solanum tuberosum, Solanum melangina, Solanum nigrum. That you have to remember. Okay. Even Solanum serratens also there. Solanum serratens. So here four species I gave: Solanum tuberosum, Solanum melangina, Solanum nigrum, and Solanum serratins. So all these 4 species belong to same genus, that is Solanum. So here 4 different species will form a single genus. 4 different species. So a group of species will form a genus. Our genus is nothing but a group of closely related species. A group of closely related species. Here the species are different, but their genus is same. That you have to notice here. And after that, Panthera, as already I gave you. Panthera is a genus. In this Panthera leo, lion. Panthera tigris, tiger. Panthera leo, lion. Panthera tigris, tiger. Panthera pardus, cheetah. Panthera pardus. So here, lion, tiger, cheetah. So Leo different genus, Leo different species, Tigris different species, Pardus different species, but all belong to same genus. So these 3 group of closely related species, if you observe lion, tiger, and cheetah, they are closely related. They are closely related species. This closely related species form a genus, that is Panthera. Okay, that is also an example, right? That is also an example. And after that, one more example, Felis. Felis. See here, shall I erase this? As already I mentioned, Felis leo. Felis leo was the scientific name of lion, but later it was renamed as a Panthera leo. Okay, but first it was named as Felis leo by Carolus von Linnaeus in 1758. We discussed already that, but that name was changed. Now here, Felis is genus. In this, Felis domestica. Felis domestica. The common cat, or our domesticated cat in our house, the domesticated cat is there, no? That is Felis domestica. Common cat or domesticated cat, Felis domestica. And after this Felis domestica, one more example here, Felis bengalensis. Felis bengalensis. Felis bengalensis. It is leopard cat. It is leopard cat. Leopard cat is Felis bengalensis. Felis bengalensis. Next, Felis marmorata. Felis marmorata. It is known as marble cat. Marble cat, Felis marmorata. Sorry, here we have to use only small letter because all these are the generic name, specific epithets or species names that you have to remember, right? Next, Felis chas. Felis chas. Jungle cat. It is jungle cat. So the jungle cat is Felis chas. So Felis chas is jungle cat. Felis chas, the jungle cat. Like that, some species you should notice here. Observe here in the species. There are different examples I gave you. Domestica is one species. Bengalensis is one species. Marmorata is one species. Chas is one species. but all have similarity in their morphological similarity in their relation, similarity in their evolutionary history, or some relations are there in their all morphological and anatomical features, but that are reproductively isolated. Reproductively isolated, so that belongs to different species. So all these are closely related species: Domestica, Bengalensis, Marmorata, and Chaos. So these four are closely related species, but belongs to same genus, Felis. What is the genus of that? Felis. So here, these are examples for species: Tuberosum, Melangina, Nigrum, and Serratens. All that are the species, but belongs to same genus. So a group of species will form a genus. If you observe, Panthera leo, Panthera tigris, Panthera pardus. So these are also belongs to closely related species, but all are collectively belongs to same genus. If you observe here, Domestica, Bengalensis, Marmorata, and Chas belongs to different species, but collectively form the genus Felis. The genus Felis. That you have to notice here. Even in human being, only the Homo sapiens is exhausting, that is surviving present on the earth. But there are many human species was extincted. So if you observe, there was Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Homo neanderthalensis. So like that, different species are there in the genus Homo also. In the genus Homo, there was different species, but all was extincted. The only exhausting or surviving species is Homo sapiens. Remaining all species was extincted. There was Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis, and finally Homo sapiens are there. So all belongs to same genus Homo, but they have different species. So that you should notice here. Is it clear about this? In this class, we discussed about two important taxonomical categories. What are the two important taxonomical categories we discussed here? Genus and species. Genus and species. Now once again, just we recall what are taxonomical categories, what is taxonomical hierarchy, what are taxonomical categories. Taxonomical categories are the units of classification. Taxonomical categories are units of classification. These taxonomical categories are always arranged in descending sequence. So the arrangement of taxonomical categories in the descending sequence is known as taxonomical hierarchy. What is taxonomical hierarchy? The arrangement of taxonomical categories in their descending order or descending sequence is known as taxonomical hierarchy. This taxonomical hierarchy was proposed by the father of taxonomy, Carolus von Linnaeus. That was proposed by him, right? In the taxonomical categories, what is the descending order? The descending order begins from kingdom and end at species. So kingdom, phylum for animals, division for plants, class, and after class order, after order family, after family genus, at last the smallest unit is the species. Okay, so that 7 obligatory categories are there. So why I am giving only 7 here? These are obligatory. We must have to use this for the classification of every living organism. Okay, but for more convenient study, you may use some intermediate categories like subkingdom, superphylum or superdivision, subdivision or subphylum, superclass, subclass, superorder, suborder, superfamily, subfamily. You may use subspecies and tribe, etc. are the intermediate categories, right? So, what is kingdom? What are the examples for that? I gave you different examples. I mentioned R.H. Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification there. Kingdom Animalia, Kingdom Plantae, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Monera, and Kingdom Functae. Different kingdoms I gave you as an example. And after that, phylum and division. We discussed that examples also. Okay, so for every taxonomical category we discussed definitions and their respective examples. As already I mentioned, whenever you move in descending order, the number of organisms will decreases, but the relationship or similarities between the organisms will increases. Whenever you move in ascending order from species to kingdom, the number of organisms will increases, but the relationship or similarity between the organisms will decreases. So that also you should notice here. After completion of all these 7 obligatory categories, now we are going to discuss the classification of some examples, the classification of some animals and plants. By using these 7 obligatory categories, how could we classify the organisms? And as already I mentioned, taxon. What is the taxon? Taxon is the unit of classification that represent any category in the taxonomical hierarchy. Taxon is unit of classification that represent any taxonomical category in taxonomical hierarchy. Taxon is singular, taxa is plural. As already I mentioned, what is systematics and what is taxonomy? Okay, so systematics and taxonomy, that also we discussed. But after completion of this, we will practice how to classify the organisms by using these 7 obligatory categories. For example, as already I gave you one example, that is Homo sapiens, that is man. The common name is man, scientific name is Homo sapien. Homo sapiens. So according to these 7 obligatory categories are lineage, hierarchy of classification. How to classify this? First, kingdom. What is the kingdom? Human being belongs to kingdom Animalia. Okay, the first kingdom completed. After that, phylum, Chordata. After that, order, Mammalia. After order, family, Hominidae. Hominidae. And genus, Homo. Species, Sapiens. Very simple. 7. Only 7 we used. If you want to use more, you may mention here. For example, kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia. In that again subkingdom Eumetazoa. Eumetazoa. You may mention that also. Subphylum Chordata. Subphylum Vertebrata. Vertebrata is the subphylum. Superorder. Superclass Gnathostomata. Class Mammalia. Like that, intermediate categories also we will mention, but these 7 are must. For your standard, these 7 you must have to mention because of that I am telling you. So once again listen. First, human being, Homo sapien, scientific names Homo sapien, common name man, scientific name Homo sapien, belongs to kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Primata, family Hominidae, genus Homo, species Sapiens. As already I wrote that on the board, because of that I am not writing here. And along with that, in your syllabus they mentioned one more animal, that is Musca domestica. Musca domestica, housefly. Okay, housefly. The classification of housefly by using these 7 obligatory categories. Okay, that you have to remember. And 2 plants they mentioned. One is the Mangifera indica, mango. Another one is the Triticum aestivum. The Triticum aestivum, that is wheat. So that we will discuss in next class. Thank you.